What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. It is Tuesday, February 24th. My name is Ewan. On today's episode, I'm going to tell you how to play F1 Fantasy for the 2026 season. If you haven't heard, the game launched today and everyone is going crazy. So I wanted to build this simple episode to just break it down in a quick 10-15 minute video on how to play the game. If you're a rookie driver or a veteran driver, this should be useful for you. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing around the F1 Fantasy Pole Position Garage, don't forget to drop a like on the video or subscribe to the YouTube channel if you don't want to miss a single episode. I've been saying it for a couple of days now. I'm dropping a video every single day between now and the Australian Grand Prix deadline, so make sure you are tuned in for that. And if you really like what you see around the F1 Fantasy Pole Position Garage, you can become a YouTube member. £5, €5, $5 a month. And you get access to prize leagues, you get access to videos like this a little bit earlier than everyone, you get into the Discord, custom emojis, member shoutouts, all that fun stuff. So if you really like what you see, do submit for that YouTube membership. But today is going to be about how to play F1 Fantasy, so we're going to get right into it. So they've introduced three major rule changes for the 2026 F1 fantasy season. The first one is a very positive change. Sprint, DNFs, and non-classifications have been reduced from -20 points to -10. Huge step for the game in the right direction. Do I wish there were other changes? Yes. Am I going to complain about this one? Absolutely not. This is the right move for them. The price floor has also been lowered from 4.5 million to 3 million. If you don't know what I mean by price floor, that is the lowest value that a driver or a constructor can have in the game. So last year, you could not go below 4.5 million as a driver or a constructor. This year, it has been moved to 3 million, and transfers are now calculated differently. So before, if you made an early transfer, like say, you were like, I'm going to a bachelor party or bachelorette party this weekend, I need to lock in my team now before I see any practice results, and you made the changes, and then somehow you were able to check in on it while you were at this party or whatever, some occasion that you're at, and you're like, oh no, they are not going to start the race, but I don't have any of my transfers left. They are now going to calculate it where it will only be if your team is different from what you locked in at the previous race. So say you took Lando Norris out for Charles Leclerc from the Australian Grand Prix to the Chinese Grand Prix, right? If you did that move and then you see it right before the lineup lock and then you reverse it, that will not count as 2 transfers. That will be 0 transfers because you will have made 0 changes to your lineup. So this is very useful as well. Kind of wish they did this in FPL, to be honest, Fantasy Premier League. But this is a great change for the game as well. What I have wanted to see that they did not do is I wanted them to get rid of driver of the day and fastest lap, to be honest. However, if they couldn't do that, I at least wanted them to reduce those points from 10 to 5, and they did not do that. And that is pretty disappointing just because I don't know anything about coding, but I'm assuming you could just change that 10 to a 5 and be done with it. So that is a little disappointing in that regard. That was the biggest complaint that the community had last year. I mean, the sprint DNFs going from -20 to -10 will be a huge difference and potentially changes my thoughts about using the no negative chip in China. Just saying. That'll be in a chip strategy episode later on. But overall, the 3 changes, it's not too much. It's very similar to last year's game. They haven't done anything to the pricing algorithm from what I can see on the website either. Always TBD on that. Maybe they'll change it up without letting us know. That would be interesting. But we've got all the prices. I've built my first team. So let's go take a closer look at F1 Fantasy in 2026. So here we are, we're on the home page of F1 Fantasy for the 2026 season. As you can see, Australian Grand Prix, 10 days, 16 hours, 37 minutes away. I have built my first team, but I do just want to go through the stuff I was just talking about here. Also, join my league at the very top here. Join that league. Join the F1 Fantasy Pole Position League. That league code will work. That O is a 0, by the way. And it's also going to be in the description below, so you can just copy and paste it, insert it, and the link to join will also be there. So just click that link, join your team. All 3 teams can join. Let's all have a good time. No need to get too serious about joining the league. But shout out to the winner last year, Gavin D'Souza, I believe, winning. Oh, 44th gear Gavin, who just followed me on X. Shout out to you, I'm assuming. All right, so let's get into the game rules. What's new for 2026? DNF, DSQ, not classified. Penalties have been reduced to -10 points. Scoring is the same. Qualifying 10 through 1, or 10 points to 1 point for 1st through 10th. I was hoping that they would go all the way down to 15 and give us 15 points for pole, but alas, that was not meant to be. Constructors are the same. Drivers in the sprint are the same. Fastest lap for a sprint is also there. Race is the same. Fastest lap, driver of the day, pit stop points all look the same as well. I guess the only thing. Oh, a 15-point bonus awarded to any team that sets a new world record time. Current record 1.8 seconds set by McLaren in Qatar 2023. So that's what you got there for your fastest pit stop points. And exceeding the free transfer allowance is still -10 points. What's new for the game? Leagues, they all look shinier. Transfers, like I was talking about here, from this season will only look at the total amount of your team changes between Grand Prix when calculating your transfer allowance, not each transfer separately. DNF, scoring updates, the DNF/not classified penalty in the sprint has been reduced to -10 points. And price change, the minimum price drivers and teams can reach has been reduced to 3 million. Leagues, this is what it looks like. It all looks very nice. All very nice. All very nice. Let's see here. What do we got? Rotoballer. That's who I write for, the Rotoballer Fantasy League. So go join that. You can just find that on the featured leagues. You can also find me here. Oh, that's my leagues. Let me go to, where do we go? I want to see join a league. Public league. Here we go. We're rocking around. Oh, there's so many of them now. However, if you just go here and type in poll, I'm hoping. I haven't actually tried this beforehand. Join. Oh, you need to put the league code in there, Ewan. Oopsies. That would make sense. But, oh my goodness, there's already so many leagues. Pit debrief, F1 files. Okay. Well, you know what? You need to copy that code up there and type it right in here, and that will work. So don't worry about that there. But leagues, prizes have changed a little bit. 2-3-time grandstand tickets, blah, 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 blah. Everybody gets tickets and a £300 F1 store voucher. How to play, you create your team. The chips have all remained the same. Transfers are the same. Leagues are the same. So what is the first team? I'm actually going to do a whole video on this tomorrow, but I want to show you quickly what my first team is. And it's about the same as everybody else. It's the pricing. We'll go over the pricing here. Okay. So as you can see right now, I got Charles Leclerc, Kimi Antonelli, Ocon, Behrman, Colapinto, Ferrari, and Haas. Drop a comment in the chat with your first F1 fantasy lineup for the 2026 season. Let's still no driver headshots for everybody, which as a content creator is a little troubling. But Max Verstappen is the most expensive driver, 27.7 million. Then George Russell just 0.3 behind. Lando Norris 0.2 behind that. Then a little bit of a gap to Oscar Piastri. Kimi Antonelli, Charles Leclerc, and Lewis Hamilton are the next bunch. Really, really big surprise in the community with these Ferrari prices. As the screen resets, it's going to do that all the time. Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton coming in under 25 million after what they showed us last week at the second Bahrain test is very surprising. Isaac Hadjar is next, 15.1 million. Gasly, 12 million. The next four here, Sainz, Albon, Alonso, Stroll. Trap City, people. Do not go here for the Australian Grand Prix. These are two of the teams that had the worst preseason in F1. Do not touch them with a 10-foot pole. You're going to have to wait for them. They're going to be a lot cheaper soon. Don't worry. 2, 3, 4, 5 races time when they bring their first update. That is when you will want to strike for Carlos Sainz, Alex Albon, Fernando Alonso, and Lance Stroll. Just avoid like the plague. Ollie Behrman and Esteban Ocon are just the complete opposite of what I said about those two teams and Williams and Aston Martin. Like, how do you not go with this? 7.4 million for Ollie Behrman, Esteban Ocon 7.3. I could maybe get away from Esteban Ocon, but not Ollie Behrman at 7.4. He was 6.7 last year. You tell me he only went up 0.7 in starting price for the 2026 season? That is crazy. Nico Hulkenberg 6.8, Liam Lawson 6.5, Bortoletto 6.4, Lindblad 6.2, Colapinto 6.2. Like, just feels too easy. Bottas and Perez down here at 6 and 5.9 million respectively. The fact that you can go Leclerc, double Ferrari, Antonelli, Ocon, Behrman, or triple Haas, double Ferrari, Antonelli, and Colapinto feels a little ridiculous with money left over. And this is what happened here. Mercedes, McLaren, Red Bull. I love all of these prices here. 29.3 million, 28.9 million, 28.2 million. That's perfect. But why is Ferrari 5 million cheaper? Like Ferrari didn't even have if they just locked in all the prices after Bahrain 1 instead of Bahrain 2, like it still doesn't make sense that Ferrari was all the way down here. So I am really confused by the Ferrari pricing, also the Haas pricing, 7.4 million. Like they were clearly the best team in the midfield. Like they should be right with Alpine, if not more. Williams and Aston Martin, these prices are once again Trap City. Do not go near them. But it's because the developers, I'm thinking, are a little bit worried that if these teams bring some updates, if the car loses some weight, if it hits the treadmill, loses some weight, and all of a sudden looks good, they don't want these teams to be locked in at the template. But these teams are going to drop the next 6 races. And then that's going to be, what, 3 million? So if Williams is suddenly the best of the rest in the midfield and they're 9 million, does it really make a difference? Like why they start up here? Whatever. But Haas looks too good to be true. Audi, Racing Bulls, Cadillac, probably not going to go there. Haas is probably the only team that I'm considering from the B tier constructors. As the screen consistently resets, you'll probably be enjoying that a little bit through your F1 Fantasy experience. I don't love having 5 Ferrari power units in my squad. There are other ways to go about them, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow's video where I talk about my first F1 fantasy team. But this is where it's at right now. Tomorrow I will go over more variations, what I can do, and stuff like that. And if you don't follow me yet, follow me at F1 Fantasy UN on X or TikTok or Instagram or Threads, and drop me a picture of your lineup, because then I'm going to do an episode next week where I rate your F1 fantasy team. So drop me a picture of your F1 fantasy teams, DMs, just tag me in a comment, something like that, and I will happily rate them. But for now, this is where I'm at. Leclerc, Ocon, Behrman, Ferrari, Haas, Colapinto, and Antonelli. It's not very exciting. I understand that. I need to dive into it a little bit more. I'm recording this 90 minutes after the game dropped, so I will dive into it more over the next 24 hours, and then you will have a few options to look at for your F1 fantasy team. But that'll do it for today's short and sweet episode. If you want a more fun breakdown, go check out the live stream I did. I was like 90 minutes with everybody. It was super fun. It was the hour leading into it and then 30 minutes kind of breaking it all down at the end there. But like I said, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really does help us out all that much. And one of the perks of being a pole sitter is you get access to the Discord where we are chit-chatting F1 Fantasy constantly now that the season has begun. So we are having a grand old time in there. Come join this small but sweet family that we are bringing and building together on the F1 Fantasy Pole Position Discord. But hopefully you guys are enjoying the start of the 2026 F1 Fantasy season. Like I said, I'm going to be back every single day with a new video, so I hope you do not get sick of me too much. But once again, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.